the winds sail and the Nords are here. It is time, finally, at Gamescom, at the Future Games presentation, we got a look at what is coming for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord next. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, is it something beautiful. This is Warsails, and we knew that it was coming for quite some time, but now we've finally seen some more cinematics, and of course, way more information about the new faction. In fact, a whole new developer blog about exactly what the Nords are coming with. We are going to be turning the prow towards the untamed North to introduce this new faction, their culture, their backstory, and to highlight what defines this kingdom. There's going to be more equipment, troops, architecture, and so many more battles on their way. Now, these are going to be guys from the far northern reaches of Karadia. This is kind of understood. In fact, the game is going to be adding in a whole new section of the map just for the big boys here. Of course, these are going to be definitely a seafaring faction. In fact, yeah, they're settling in the fjords. I don't want to give anything away right now, but I am currently in the fjords as I speak on this. It's a pretty nice place. It's pretty goddamn beautiful. The local chieftains had their longships sail south, bearing walrus ivory, whale oil, and fish to sell. These will all be things that will be part of the new Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord expansion. New trading resources and new ways to actually get them from one place to another. On the map, the Nordlands run from the June River in the east coast of Nordvig to the Isle Vineland in the west, with 4 towns: Hardgard, Thorndalag, Grettisfjord, and Halvak. Hardgard, for example, stands on the rocky bank of the June River, founded by Nordic tribes in the western fjords several generations ago. Today, it serves as the meeting place of the Nords, the Vanni, and the Sturgeons, all harvesting the wealth of the river valley to sell to the people of the south. And we can see in some of the gifts, and this is Hardgard town that is gorgeous, by the way. We've got the ports, of course, we've got the new Nordic buildings. It's pretty big outer shell and walls, and of course, you can see the bridges that actually cascade through this whole place. This is going to be connected over water. These are definitely a seafaring people that are going to be based upon trading fish and oil and the like. New resources that we're going to be able to play with. Here and throughout the north, life follows the old ways though. Longhouses serve as home and council hall. Shipwrights turn pine and oak into long ships, which are going to be used by players who are going to be able to build, pay for, and upgrade your ships, whether it is a bigger hull to be able to withstand these naval battles that we're going to be getting ourselves into, or maybe even just a larger carrying capacity for raw goods and trading items, or being able to ship garrisons from one place to another. Across the land, the Nordvig is built of timber and turf, with mossy thatch, curved roofs, and dragon-headed beams. The walls of Nord's towns and castles follow the lay of the hills, their lines bending with the land. Timber or stone towers rise above sturdy palisades, the logs set atop foundations of solid stone. Past the palisades, the tavern greets friends and strangers alike, and we can see a little bit of that here, with the Nordic taverns and the keeps. These are going to be places that we've seen in Mount & Blade before. Of course, taverns are always places that you can find mercenaries or maybe even companions to help you along the way, and yes, there will be more companions within this game. Now, the Nordic equipment and troops are very, very interesting. We can see a plethora of shields, each with their own designs, mostly regarding the different clans that will be in here. Round shields might be decorated or painted with the icon or the sigil of the certain clan. They wield heavy, long axes, spears for the shield walls, and javelins with throwing axes to hurl before the clash. Straight-edged swords hang at their sides, whilst the finest among them carry the alt gear, the long-hafted blade for the strongest arm. Their armor will range from padded coats to tough leather mail shirts as well, even cloaks thrown over the shoulders. Will we see any bearskin? I think we probably will. This is Mount & Blade, not goddamn History Channel. The Nord warband, though, begins with the younglings, and this is where we get to see a little bit of the troop trees. Men barely old enough to grip a shield, armed with little more than a hatchet, but some courage. From there, their path divides. Those who take up the bay will get bowmen. They'll be called huntsmen. They'll be better for seasoned hunting, but will be used on the battlefield sometime as well. But they can grow into more experienced archers that will gain mail shirts and, of course, better arrows and better bows. They'll be able to loose volleys across clearings or, of course, from a ship's deck, because ship combat will be a huge part of the new expansion. But if they don't go the bow way and they decide to stay as infantry, they'll be called the Drengir, before branching into axe or spear units. We'll have these two different infantry types, whether you want to go more anti-cavalry or, of course, be shield smashers. The axe path leads from hard-bitten warriors to the fearsome berserker or the mighty Skaldebrecht. The spear path climbs towards the wolven-cloaked Udheindin or the wielders of the deadly Altgeir. And as you can see, my pronunciation of Nordic, despite living in Norway for the last 3 months, has not improved, not even once. As in every land, warriors of the highest standard follow their own road to war. They begin as the Atlingir, young fighters trusted with their first shield, and rise to the Thane. These are pretty much the nobles that you'd expect. You see, in Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, you can recruit units from pretty much any village of that faction. But if you recruit from a village that is near a city or a castle, they're going to have more noble troops. Even the starter guys are a bit better and more experienced, and they can grow into the best soldiers. This is where you can get the chosen warriors from in regular Mount and Blade. But these guys are going to prove to arms in the Jarl's service. They can serve as Jarlsmen or herdmen, each step bringing in finer mail, sturdier shields, and of course weapons worthy of their rank. Only the fiercest and most loyal of them, though, earn the honour of bearing the decorated Rao shield of the Huskarl. And yes, Huskarls will be making a return. A unit that was part of Mount and Blade Warband back in 2010, and of course the best infantry unit in that game. Are they going to be the best infantry unit within this title, taking the crown off the Empire Legionary? Maybe, just maybe. At this point, though, there is going to be plenty of troops coming, and each with their own unique arms and armor, of course. Within this trailer, we can see some great cinematics, and unfortunately, it is not gameplay, but it does look goddamn cool. I'm going to be honest, they decided to use a song by Amon Amarth, so I can't actually play any audio from this, and clearly that was not the initial intention. This trailer is definitely cut to some cinematic custom-made music that they had, and then decided to put in an Amon Amarth song at the last minute. It definitely looks and feels like that. Doesn't really fit, but hey, you know, Mount and Blade nerds bloody love heavy metal. I don't know what it is, but if you can go to a concert and get a Viking drinking horn thrown at your head, you're in heaven for a lot of these guys. I say a lot of these guys as if it's not the people that are actually listening to this video right now. But when fighting moves inland, Nord captains rally their warriors beneath their battle banners, and of course there'll be new banners and flags that will all have their own buffs. These can be used within normal Mount and Blade of having, you know, better archery skill or being able to fight for longer, better stamina, better morale, and there will be new ones that are more custom to the Nords themselves. As with other cultural banners, each design brings its own effect into land battles. Some reduces the horse charges damage, or others rattle the enemy morale. Now, when you actually launch a new Warsails playthrough, which you'll have to do because it's an entirely new expansion, the cultural choices will now include this new faction. The seafaring folk of the Nords, sailing faster on rivers and in coastal seas, as well as acquiring more loot from raiding villages and caravans. That said, their armies do suffer from great cohesion loss when they're on land, so you're going to have to be careful and choose exactly when you decide to move from the oceans to landing on the shores. Next, you'll be greeted by the appearance of a selection screen. A host of new options. 19, in fact, new appearances for your character creation. Fresh beards, hairstyles, tattoos. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, you cannot wait to look like a proper Nord, and don't you worry, there will be plenty of time for it. Can I just say, the GIFs and screenshots that we've been shown in this dev blog are absolutely gorgeous. They are so beautiful, and tattoos are going to be making a new appearance within here as well. But this is where it starts to get interesting, because we knew about bandits and looters within the original Mount and Blade, but would they be adding in a new custom version for the Warsails expansions? And yes, they are. Pirates are coming to Mount and Blade. Once you take the seas, it won't be long before you cross paths with pirates. They roam the waterways much like looters on land, sailing in bands of 2 or 3 light medium ships. They will haunt busy ports in search of unprepared travelers. A hard fight can leave their hull splintered and crews bloodied, yet given time they will always return replenished to menace the trade routes again. In the southern waters you might encounter corsairs, their look drawn from the pirates of the Barbary coast, with new gear crafted to match. I'm assuming these are going to be similar to Sea Raiders, but Sea Raiders are also going to be very much in this game as well. There's going to be new Sea Raider factions that are part of the seas rather than just their on-land counterparts, which are still within the games themselves. And we can see a little bit of corsairs from the in-engine cinematic as well. But that pretty much wraps it up for most of the information about Warsails. It's really exciting news, and it will be coming within fall of this year, which means we really don't have that long to wait at all. Maybe a couple months at most. But don't you worry, because I'll be bringing you that information as soon as it arrives. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.